Hey everybody, what's going on? All right, we are back with another interview. To my left or right, and I swear I screwed up, so I'm just gonna do this. I've got Cameron. Seriously, man, you'd think I'd figure it out by now. I got Cameron Owens with me from Chula Vista. Cameron is a producing leader for us down there, and I will preface this, guys. He is a humble guy when it comes to how he manages his business, and so with that, we've got to give him a big thanks for doing this video for us because he is one of the best prospectors, the best client retention leaders and producers that we have in the organization. I mean, Cameron, kind of proof point, how much volume are you going to do by the end of June?
We'll be about 50 million.
You know, yeah, about right, give or take $100 million worth of production this year, right? So the thing I love about Cameron is in every meeting and conversation that I'm in on is he's kind of pointed to as the guy who runs his business like a machine. Like he knows how to generate business. And he hasn't over-engineered much. Like he understands how to get the job done, attack it, and make it happen. And so I wanted Cameron here to share some of his prospecting tactics for relationships, for past clients, and how he generates his business. So Cameron, man, again, I appreciate you doing this. I guarantee you we're going to get a lot of value from it.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Go ahead. I was going to say we're the definition of keep it simple, so we try to anyway.
Yeah. And with that, it's like, especially for me, right? I mean, you guys see all the videos I put out and everything else. A lot of us have a habit of overthinking things. It's not needed. It really isn't. And because at the end of the day, it's about showing up and doing the job for the referral partners and the clients and doing it well, and you embody that. And now you've been with us for a while, right? How long have you been at Loan Depot? iMortgage?
Yeah, I actually started with iMortgage in January of 2011, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, coming up on 10 years. That's
awesome. And so you've been with Ron and Alec and Dan and that crew for a while.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Dan hired me.
Did he really?
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like at some point everyone in the industry could say that Dan hired me. I mean, he was.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's awesome. Yeah. So real quick, and guys, we're going to get into the prospecting thing, but Cameron, can you just describe your business higher level in terms of where it comes from? Because you aren't just realtors, you aren't just past clients. I mean, you got kind of a wide set of where it comes from. Do you mind describing kind of the makeup of your business?
Yeah, I think it's. I think you kind of touched on it. It's simple. I mean, we definitely have a big builder platform, and I feel like we've made a name for ourselves in the builder world. So that's been a big part of our business for quite a few years. I'm working on building my realtor platform constantly every day. We're working on that. I think that we're doing a better job now than we've done in the past with our past clients and our database.
Yeah.
But it's primarily that. I don't have a lot of affinity business, CPAs, financial planners, but it's primarily builders, realtors, and then working our database. That's where our business comes from.
Okay. So then in those three things, and we'll just jump into it, within those three kind of spaces, I'm a tech genius, top prospecting tactic. If you had a new loan officer in front of you, or even a good originator that just wants to do more.
Yeah.
And again, your belief is, kind of the devil is in the details of prospecting and generating new relationships.
Yeah.
What is like the one must? Like what does every originator need if they're going to get serious about prospecting new relationships or clients?
Yeah, so this is highly technical, but you need a pen. And if I had a piece of paper here, I'd grab one, but you need a pen and a piece of paper, and you need to start with a list. And just really, really basic, just whether it's, going to open houses, whether it's calling the agent on the other side of the transaction, but you start with a list. So whether it's a realtors or builders, and builders, I'd say are a little bit different. Like you'd want to check with your manager or your regional builder manager to, get some insight on how to tackle that. But you just start with a list. So a list of realtors, a list of builders. Hopefully you have like a past client list. If you don't, we have Mello CRM, so it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you just start with a list. You've got to have a list, period. It's people have call reluctance. If they've got a list, it's easier to call.
So let's break that down. All right. Okay. So you got, let's talk about realtors, just because I think it's a little bit more universal than the builder side. How many realtors are on your list, and do you categorize them? You know what I mean? Like, is it just 200 realtors and see what happens, or what? Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, I think so. At the beginning, I think the goal is just to have as many names on there as you can, and then you narrow it down through either MTA or Mello 360. I'm really liking Mello 360 right now because it identifies some things that MTA didn't. You can get into what kind of government business they do, or what, you can direct it a little bit. So I think there's some cool things about that, which I'm excited about. But yeah, you start with the list. I know, I've had 200 realtors on my list before, and then I just slowly pared it down. Ideally, I follow a model, core model, where I call 40 realtors every week. I try to call 40 realtors every week. Some weeks I don't make it, but that's the goal. And I have a realtor list, and there can be A, B, and C realtors, and you can have an overflow list, but it's just, here's a list, and here's who I'm prospecting. And these are the people that I call on a regular basis. And the goal isn't just to call them. The goal is to create a relationship with them.
Right. Right. And okay, so now you're calling, ideally, right? Right now, I mean, you're not doing it every week. None of us are, but just the fact that that's even like audacious. I guarantee you 95% of our originators aren't calling 40 new realtors a week. Right. Are you calling the same 40 every week? Let's say you have a 200 realtor list. Are you rotating through them?
I don't rotate. I have a top 40 list, and those are the realtors that I call. I do sometimes pull people off the list, and I'll fill them in with other people. And that just depends on, what kind of relationship do I have with them? But yeah, no, sometimes I have people come off the list and I put new people on the list. I mean, the goal is to kind of build the best list that you can, right? I mean, that's my goal. And
then within that 40, are these people that you're getting business from already, or is this really your prospecting list? So you've got the realtors that you're doing business with, and then you got 40 that you're trying to add.
Both. It's both. For me, it's both. I mean, there's definitely realtors on the list that we get regular business from, and you still are staying in contact with them. And sometimes those phone calls are longer because you have a relationship with them. But it's definitely both. I mean, this is the list of realtors that I am hoping to, get into a relationship and earn an opportunity to work with them.
Okay. And how many appointments, let's say you're calling 40, how many scheduled meetings, if we're post-COVID, or even COVID, maybe a Zoom meeting, how many appointments are you setting out of these?
Yeah, that varies. That varies quite a bit. Last week, I called my first 10 people on my list, and I got, 3 appointments. They were video appointments, but yeah, it was great. I was super excited about that. And part of that was because I hadn't called them in a few weeks. I just was, the COVID, I talked to them, but it wasn't like my regular call. But yeah, it was great. But it varies. It just depends.
And I know I'm going deeper than I even prepped you with, but this is such a good vein for us to go down. You called those 10, you scheduled 3 follow-up appointments. What's the topic of the appointment? Just to give people some ideas of what you're scheduling when you schedule these meetings.
Yeah, for me, it's just, I want to get to know you. I want to learn about your business. I want to see kind of how you do, what do you do on a daily basis? I'm happy to share what I do if they're open to it, but I just want to learn about their business and see if there's an opportunity that we can help them grow their business. I mean, that's the goal. I want to help them grow their business. I'm not trying to get a loan. I want to help them grow their business, which hopefully we'll grow together.
It's funny because I think many of us, or many people here, know me as the recruiting guy, right? That's what, really kind of what the company pays me to do. And that is exactly what we try to teach in recruiting as well. Like, most people come in guns a-blazing, with value prop dumping and, we're the best and this and that. But if you can come over the top and instead add value to their business and help them do more where they're at, they're going to lean in, they're going to engage more. They're going to want to do business with you. So I love that. That's awesome. Now you mentioned that you guys have gotten a little bit better at managing your clients, your past clients to get obviously loans. Can you talk about that? I'm assuming you're not calling the same 40 clients every week. Do you have kind of a structure that you follow and a goal in how you manage that list?
Yeah, we do. So there's a couple ways that you can do it. So right now, because rates are low, we're just using Mello CRM, and we're doing a spreadsheet of just our past clients, and we're trying to see who we can help. In a normal environment, I would have a top 50 past client list. Now, let me make sure I understand it correctly. If we're talking data, we're talking database or just top 50 past clients.
Good question. Let's talk about both.
Okay.
You lead us.
Thank you. All right. So database is pretty simple. I'm using Mello CRM. We have just convert it to an Excel spreadsheet, and we call people, right? So it's really, really simple. We pull it up by date, so we make sure that we're good. We can't refinance them too early. And if it's a little bit early, we still, we contact them to make sure they know when we can refinance them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're staying on top of our CRM, our database that way. You also want to have a top 50 list of your past clients. And these would be just, the people that you really enjoyed working with, that praise you, that want to tell all their friends about you. And that's pretty simple. Like, you'd want to try to get through that list. So you call 12 people a week. And so you're getting through that list once a month. So if you had a top 50 past client list, you're calling your top 50 past clients every month, right?
Okay.
A little different than CRM. Sorry if I got those confused.
No, I love it. And I actually have follow-ups on both. Since you just talked about the top 50, talk about, because for most originators, it's an annual review, right? That's my call.
Sure. Yep.
You're talking about talking to them 12 times a year.
Yes.
What are you talking about 12 times a year with a client that maybe you did a deal with 6 months ago who's not giving you any hints that they're going to buy another home right soon? What are you talking about? And what type of business are you typically extracting out of those types of calls?
Yeah. So, you're checking in with them. Most of these people you have relationships with. So the kind of people that are on your list are the kind of people that you want to talk to. So, the goal is to get to know them, right? Get to know their families, their kids, how are they doing? And you're just checking in and just seeing how you can do. Sometimes they'll have questions about what the market's doing, right? It's not a sales call necessarily. It's not a, hey, can you refer me a deal right then? That's not it. But it's just, you're building relationships. So the whole goal here is just to build relationships with people that you like working with. And in the referral part becomes easy, right? Because they want to refer you business. And you might be doing the same to them, whatever they're doing.
Yeah. I know you don't like overselling things and try to get the exact numbers, but just estimate here. Let's say that I was an originator and I did the top 50 thing for a year.
Yeah.
Using your numbers, how much new business a year is that generating for you? Whether it be introduction to individual loans or other referral partners, what kind of impact on your volume has that had?
Yeah. So I think your results are going to be dependent on how strong your relationships are with them and how consistent you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time answering that one.
I knew you would, because you want to give an exact answer.
Yeah, I do. I want to try and give you an exact number, and I don't know.
Give me a range for the, because really why I'm asking this, Cameron, is, again, I'm willing to bet 95% of our originators don't call their top 50 past clients every single month. And it's 12 dials a week. That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
We only have so much time. And for people to kind of like, okay, yeah, I should do that. Is it 5 million, 6 million a year?
Yeah, no, I think it's more than that. I think, if you're calling them regularly, there's no reason why you wouldn't get at least one referral, from each of those clients. So that could be 50 transactions. So depending on what your loan amount is, it could be a substantial amount of volume.
Think about that, guys. What he just said. One referral. Let's even do a 50% pull through. That's 25 transactions that you funded. Depending upon what your average loan balance is, let's say 300 grand, right? Which is probably low for some markets. That's $7.5 million a year in volume by calling people that you like, that you've served before.
Right.
I can make 12 dials a week to do that.
Yeah, they already like you, by the way. That's why they're on the list.
Right. That's a pretty good 12 calls a week. That alone is a pretty good salary. So I love that. Now with your past clients, again, going back to, let's just get to the root of what we need to do. We need to contact our borrowers, let them know of the market, and see if they're interested in a refi. That's really your main way of staying in touch with your past clients, right? Like, you're not engineering super deep multi-step campaigns and this and that. You're just picking up the phone and calling them.
Yeah.
Do you have any other components? Like, do you send a video in mass beforehand or a video after? You know what I mean? Like, is there any other piece to the past client?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of tools that we use. I mean, by the way, I want to say I admire, there's a lot of people who are really good. Like, you know, like you could go through Alex Modern Lending Playbook and pick up so many great big nuggets of things that you can do. I know, like, you know, Adams Group in Orange County, they're just incredible at social media. Like, there's so many great things. And I admire those people, and I could do better at some of those things. But for ours, it's really simple. It's, we have a list and we call the list, and we try to stay true to that. And we try to, you know, do it on a regular basis. So we stay in touch. We do send videos. So sometimes the video will be to a group, like a weekly marketing video. Sometimes it's just a follow-up to a certain group. Sometimes it's individual. We do a thing called Letter of the Heart, you know, where, you know, you would mail them literally a handwritten letter. And it's not to individual people, but it's like, hey, here's what's going on in my life. Hope you're doing well. And so it's pretty basic. That's what we do.
The thing I want to stress though, guys, is when I talk to a lot of people in this business and they have a kind of a structured, tactical, Cameron, don't take offense to this because I follow this model, kind of an old school type approach, list and constant contact. That what's married to it most of the time, in my experience, is more of a heavy sales approach, like a value prop. And, you know, I'm constantly be doing this. The thing that's oozing in every single part of your business is when you're calling your realtors. I want to add value to them. I want to help better their business. That's why we're setting up the phone call. Top 50 past clients. I want to establish a relationship with them, understand what's going on in their life. You just talked about a marketing, tactic where letter of the heart, right? Or where a letter, and it's just about what's going on in my life. Like what you've done is you've enveloped an older school, just very systemized approach with something that is an attractor, that people are going to connect to you. They want to engage with you. When you pick up the phone and call them, they're going to want more of that. Like if you called me wanting to help me in my life and make me better versus just selling your services, I'm all in. Like it's huge. Those two things married together is well, what creates $100 million producer. So that's awesome, man. All right, I got one more question. You hinted on it, but I want to make sure that we talk about it structurally because you do also do builder business. So I think we should touch on it.
We do. How
are you creating your, like, where do you find your contacts? Like, how are you creating your list? If I wanted to get started on this, past clients, obviously, it's Mellow CRM or your database, but realtors, builders, are you just using data tools or how do you create your list?
Yeah. So, I want to say this first. So I'll talk about how we create them, which is, I think, pretty simple, but, the one thing that I would say is this, and this is where people mess up, I think, all the time. And it's where I've messed up in the past. I'm better at it now, but they didn't just start. Like you have to just start. You don't have to have a list of 40 realtors. You can have a list of 3 realtors, but just call those 3 realtors and add to it. Like it doesn't have to, you don't have to get to this point. This is an issue that I've had in the past. Once again, I'm working on it, but you don't have to have the perfect system, the perfect list. What you just have to have is something, whether on paper, in Excel, on your computer, in your CRM, however you want to do it. And you just have to start calling those people. And you can develop that list through open houses. Like, go to a bunch of open houses, you can, on a Saturday and Sunday, you can hit 10 open houses.
Okay, real quick. Let's pretend that we're not COVID. $100 million producer.
Yeah.
Doing this a while. You're still going to open houses to create lists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And not every weekend. So if I close less than 10 loans, I have to, if I close less than 10 loans in a month, I have to hit 10 open houses a weekend. Okay. If I close more, then I'm working on my list. Right. And it's also about consistency. I think we're kind of consistently better than that, but we don't do it every month. Yeah. So open houses, once again, MTA, Mellow 360. If you have a buyer and, you're going to call the listing agent. You're going to call the listing agent, introduce yourself, and you're going to say, hey, Mr. Listing Agent, this is what I intend to do. I'm going to give you updates once a week. I'm going to let you know how the file goes. At the end of this transaction, if you're happy with everything we've done, can we set up a meeting face-to-face? And so that's a way to get a realtor on the list, right? Yeah. And you're going to have to do good follow-up, and you're going to make sure you communicate with them and do the stuff we were supposed to do. And then that's another person on your list. And hopefully you've kind of wowed them a little bit and they go, wow, my other lenders don't follow up with me. So it's kind of basic, but that's part of it.
And then we'll wrap this up because this is awesome. I see this in recruiting a lot. So I'll go to my experience and you tell me if this sounds kind of like your world a little bit. I find that people, when they're trying to recruit, they overthink the originators that they're going to call, or if they're looking for a leader. And like they're scanning LinkedIn and they're looking at like the data and availability has almost hurt this process, because instead of just calling everybody, we're like mining for the perfect 5.
Yes.
And my experience is, oddly, I have a lot of success by calling the wrong people, because when I'm calling them, I'm not coming in heavy-handed and trying to guarantee my service and execution. I'm getting to know them. And when we find out maybe that we're not right for each other, they're actually willing to help me find people that are a good fit for me. Right. And so one bad call leads to 2 good ones sometimes.
For sure.
And if you just spend hours creating a list to find the right people, you just wasted 2 hours. You could have gotten them faster just by calling the wrong person in 10 minutes. Does that happen in your world too, where you kind of it's such a huge, just get started. Don't overthink it.
I was going to say one other thing, just on the calls and stuff. Like, it used to stress me out. Like if I had a list of 40 people, I'd go, oh my gosh, I got to call 40 people. And at the beginning, that takes a long time. But you don't have to sit at your desk or your house or whatever and call for 4 hours straight. Like just close your door and say, I'm going to call for 30 minutes or I'm going to call for 15 minutes, whatever it is. And just do it, because it builds on itself. And you were asking about builders, by the way, and I think builders even more so than even realtors. I can't tell you how many builder opportunities with builders that I've had over the years, just from being consistent and just being sometimes in the right place at the right time. But I was there for an extended period of time. And so you just have to start that process. You can go to builder communities. Once again, I would suggest that you talk to your manager, your regional builder manager, just to get an idea on kind of who to talk to and when. But it's just the consistency, and you just have to start.
It's if you don't do it consistently, where you're doing a relationship value add, you're relying on salesmanship only, right? Correct. Because I get through one conversation, and I got to win them over, and if I don't win them over now, I'm screwed. Yep. Where the consistency almost takes the pressure off of each conversation. Right. You don't, for me, my secret sauce is I'm not really that good at hand-to-hand sales, but I'm good at consistency, and I'm good at relationship. And to your point, if you do that, at some point for many of those 40 realtors, the originator they're partnered with is going to fail, or the company that they work with will fail. Yeah. And if you're positioned in a consistent relationship-based way, you're going to get that opportunity. That's it. Like that, you do anything except worked hard and being consistent. So, Cameron, man, I honestly, this was everything I'd hoped, because the prospecting side of our business, it gets almost kind of lost in all of the talk that we have on personal brand and social and old school marketing and now video and tech. The simple steps of prospecting, establish relationship in a systemized way, it's gold, and it will continue to build careers. So I appreciate this, man. Thank you, man. And congrats on your success. Seriously.
Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So I don't want to volunteer Cameron's time, but if you have any questions on lists, I'm sure he'd be able to help. Cameron, if it ever gets too much, just say, Shane, get him off, and I'll be the filter. But everybody, I appreciate the team effort here. So Cameron, have a good day, man.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.